Welcome back to the channel. For those that are new to the channel, I am Joe Wilson, just your average dumb triathlete trying to make videos related to my triathlon journey. And guys, I want to talk to you today about this guy. I got second place in the age group. Yeah, I know, old man age group. But I got second place at Louisville, Kentucky, 70.3 Ironman. Ironman 70.3 Louisville, Kentucky. I got second place in the 50 to 54 age group. Yeah, and let's do a race recap. Let's go. All right, so coming off of Chattanooga, where I had an amazing bike ride, an amazing run, but the swim was canceled. I was a little like, hey, I wanted to see if I could still PR here, or PR, but I knew going into Louisville that the training wasn't quite where it was for Chattanooga. Life happens, you know? I mean, it is what it is. I took a trip over to Europe for about a week and was doing some shorter races, and then the knee started acting up. I was like, come on, let's rub some dirt on it, but that wasn't working, so I kind of backed off the running, and instead of me putting in high volume coming into Chattanooga, I had probably ran, one week over 30 miles, and it showed. But anyway, so get up to Louisville. Such a great atmosphere. It's very similar to Chattanooga. It's in a river. We're right there on the river walk. The whole expo. I saw a bunch of people up there. If you came up and said hi to me, man, you made my day. Yeah, Louisville is such a great city. Anyway, so I'm not gonna bore you guys with all I stayed with my buddy Daniel and his wife, and they were such awesome people. So they let me stay with them. And anyway, so day of the race, I wake up, do my normal usual things, and get down to transition. Was feeling pretty good. I had some bike issues. That front wheel, I popped the tire, popped it like 4 or 5 times. Finally got it fixed on Saturday as we were doing a shakeout ride. I finally got it fixed, and my friend Emily took me to an awesome bike shop. Anyway, so day of the race, get down there, not a lot's going on. I hadn't raced in about a month or two. At Waterfront, I had some, rookie mistakes. I couldn't find my bike computer. I left my swim skin on. And yeah, I guess I forgot how to race. So anyway, the Louisville is a downriver swim, but it's a very, very slow current. You're not getting much out of it. Just like Chattanooga, they bus you up to River Start, or the start of the river. We get up there, and I'm talking to people, doing my usual thing. I get ready, put on my swim skin because it's not wetsuit legal. I think the water is maybe 86 degrees, and they're lining you up, and so we get in this little chute, and people are kind of just like packed in there. They push you off. The pros go off first, male pros, female pros, and then we start pushing our way in, and I get there and I jump in. And I'm like, I've been swimming, a good bit, and I feel pretty good, and I start swimming. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this hadn't happened since 2018. There was people all around me. I felt like people were on top of me, and I couldn't breathe. I literally could not breathe. I was like gasping for air. It's not the first time it's happened to me, so I was like, dude, you need to get out of this situation. So I popped my head up, started swimming straight to a kayaker, because I was like, well, maybe I'll hold on to a kayak for a minute, get halfway over there, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? We gotta go, let's go. And so I popped my head back into the water, started gently swimming, super easy. I still couldn't breathe. Hell, it's making me feel winded right now. And then I jumped on my back and just started backstroking. And I did that for a solid 30, 45 seconds. And then finally, I put my head back in the water. I'm like, all right, let's go, dude. Let's go. I was disappointed with that. That shouldn't be happening anymore. I've done more than 25 70.3s. I've raced Kona. That shouldn't happen. But it did. And I managed it the best way I could. I always tell people, always have a freak out stroke, right? So like whether it's breaststroke, not butterfly, breaststroke or backstroke. Backstroke is for me. So I do my back, because breaststroke I wouldn't be moving. But with backstroke, I can at least keep moving down the river. So finally got going, and then I'm swimming. We're coming up to the first bridge, and I'm like, I know this is more than 500 yards, because my watch normally beeps every 500 yards. I'm like, I know this is more than 500 yards. And I looked down, I was like, I gotta look. And so I looked down, and my watch hadn't even started. I'm like, great. So I hit the start button, I'm like, all right, let's go. And I'm swimming, bridge. It was actually a fun swim. I mean, jumping, if I hadn't freaked out, I probably would have had a much better swim. But it was a fun swim. And then I finally get to swim exit and come out, and they make you run a little bit of a ways. I mean, it's probably like a couple hundred yards, but you run in, you grab your bike. I've got everything ready to go. Got my new helmet, and which is a cask, and I'm like, all right, let's go. And I start running to the transition exit, and somebody says, "You got your swim skin on," and I'm like, "Oh my God, again!" And so I dropped my bike. I was like, I can't do 56 miles with swim skin on. It was pulled down to my waist. I normally pull it down to my waist and then run to my bike and then take it off. I've got to tell myself the next time, hey, take this off. I strip it down. So, a volunteer grabbed it. Thank God, they were super awesome. And then I'm like, all right, let's go. And so I run all the way to the mountain line, which is probably 200 yards. I mean, you're running for a minute, and we get to the mountain line, and then it's just go. And I knew I hadn't done this race before. I went up to last year to cheer, and I thought it was amazing, and that's why I signed up. But then I've been riding the course on Rouvy, and so I know that first hour is pretty slow. And so I'm like, let's just hammer that first hour, and we'll figure out the second hour on the bike. My goal was about a 2:15, 2:20. And so sure enough, I come out and I'm hammering, and I'm passing a bunch of people. And then a guy comes around me, and he's just like throwing down some stupid watts, and bigger guy. And so I marked him, and I said about 12 meters back, and I let him pull me probably until I lost him about mile 23. But you're going through the countryside, and you're going up, mostly up till you about halfway, and then you come back down. It's a lollipop. And so that first hour, I was like, let's just hit as hard as we could. And I knew there's some hills and like some like fast descents and then slow hills where you've actually got to grind on the race. And so, first hour, I think I maybe averaged 22 miles, maybe 22, 23, low 23. And then finally get going, and then you're coming back, and it's just like, it's mostly like this. There's some hills, it's rolling, but it's mostly like this. And I just started cooking. I was like, man, I haven't felt that great on a triathlon bike. I was just in aero, not breaking aero, just flying down hills in the flats, and then we're just hammering it up pretty hard. Last 5 miles, I was hitting it pretty hard. I was averaging like 25 miles an hour, and then coming to transition, I did about 220 on the bike, and I think I was 32 minutes on the swim. And so I go into transition, drop my bike off, legs feel a little heavy. I grabbed a Red Bull, shotgunned it as I was running to the porta potty. I had to pee, and so I come out of the porta potty. I'm like, all right, let's go. I start running. Had no idea where I was in the age group. And there was a lot less people there this year than last year, and so 2,400 last year. This year, I like 1,300. Partly because the heat was pretty intense. I think we started and it was like 80 degrees, and so by the time I got on the run, it was like hot. It was like mid 80s, felt like 95. I mean, we're cooking. And so come out of transition. I knew the course. Start running. First mile felt good, 6:30. Second mile, like high sixes, and I'm running, and then we come into the park. I see the pros coming back, and I'm going out, and I'm like, okay, I must be in pretty good shape here. And so I'm running, and I see my buddy John Grant about mile 4, and I yell at him, I'm like,
looking good,
dude, tell me where I am.
When you come back down the fourth hill,
like, 4 mile hill,
I'll tell you.
I'm running. And I'm throwing down like 7 flats, 7 flats, and I get to mile 4. And mile 4 is this, like, you run into a park, and mile 4, they do this little out and back. So it's a switchback. You go up, and you're like, oh my God. And you're running up, and you run over a hill, and then you come back down. And I'm like, this was unnecessary. Anyway, so as I'm running up it, I see my buddy Andres, I see his wife, Carrie, and then I see Bill Beecher. And I was like, all right, there's Bill. You know, he's a fast swimmer. We're about the same on the bike, but I can normally run him down. And I'm like, all right. So I see him, and I think he's probably about a quarter mile ahead of me. And I'm like, all right, we got this. And so I'm running through the park, and the park is like, it's up, you're down. It is not flat. This run was probably one of the toughest runs I've done in a very, very long time. Not to mention the fact that I didn't have the endurance to probably run as fast as I wanted to for 13 miles. But Louisville is a fun course, but it's tough. I mean, you earn that medal when you cross the finish line. Anyway, so I'm running, and I see my buddy John, and he says, hey, you're in second place. And I'm like, yes. He's like, you're 2 minutes down to Bill, or like first place. And I was like, I know that's Bill Beecher. And because he put a huge gap on me in the swim. Always has, but I always run him down. And I'm running through the park, mile 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's hot. I'm grabbing ice. I mean, one tip is anytime you're running in a hot race, grab ice and hold it with your left hand. I learned this watching the Olympics. I guess the blood flows through your left side first, and then it flows back into the heart. So if you're running with ice in your hand, it keeps you cool. And so I would grab ice every single time, taking in some gels. I probably took like 4 gels in the park. And then I come out of the park, and my buddy John's there again, and I'm at mile 9, and he says, you've only put 45 seconds into first place. He said, you're minute 16 down. He said, you just got to run.
Look good for your people.
Like 16 seconds faster.
You got to give all your fans your wisdom.
I can do it. So I'm running.
Just keep running.
Come on, you got to do this. And I get out of the park, and then mile 10 hits, and my body says, bro, you ain't run more than 10 miles since June. Yeah, the wheels are about to fall off. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, this is going to suck. I mean, it literally just hit me right at mile 10. I was like, come on, man, you've got to finish this. And my pace went from like low 7s to high 7s. I come back into kind of where we started the run. You got to run past where you start, and then you run downtown, and they finish you on 4th Street, which is amazing finish line. I mean, Louisville has an amazing finish line. It is so cool. But those last 2 miles, when you're tired, you gotta run up. It's kind of like mostly uphill because you're kind of running away from the river. And man, my legs were just dead. I was like, oh my God, like these last 2 miles are gonna suck. And it was just literally a shuffle. Like I see my friends, and they're like cheering for me, and they're like, you're in second place. And luckily my buddy Thomas says to me, 3rd place is 4 minutes behind you. And I was like, okay, I'm doing the math. I'm like, even if I walked right now, which I want to walk right now, there's no way I'm catching 1st, and there's no way 3rd's going to catch me. So I'm like, okay, I guess I got 2nd place. And so I'm running. I got passed by a couple of different people, and probably should have been way faster than them, but I was just on the struggle bus. And so I come in, see you make a loop, and you make another turn, you make a turn, and then you finally see the finish line. I'm like, okay, there's the finish line. And I hear people like cheering me on. And the finish line hadn't gotten really big yet because there was still a lot of people out there. And so I come through the finish line like struggling, and I look up the time. It says 4 hours and 42 minutes. And I'm like, that's the slowest I've gone in a 70.3 since 2018 at Raleigh. And I looked down, and my run time was a 1:40, which was 13 minutes slower than Chattanooga. I was like, wow. But anyway, it is what it is. I mean, the training showed. I didn't put in enough on the run, and it showed. And so you get what you get. That's just the way it is. And hats off to Bill. I never called him. He won the age group, and I think he's won multiple age group titles because we're basically the same age. So hats off to him for winning. I will get my revenge. I promise you that. Anyway, the award ceremony was cool. You know, we celebrated. I probably had way too many beers afterwards, but yeah, it was a fun race. I wasn't super happy about 2nd place at the time, but hey, we all get the same exact award. Mine just says 2nd instead of 1st. You won't even look. You don't even know. Anyway, I'm super happy about the race. I thought Louisville was an amazing venue. I know it scared people off for because of the heat, because it was 90s plus, but we did get some luck near the end because the clouds came out and covered the sun for a very, very long time. It wasn't sunny probably half the day, but it was hot. It was hot. So I will do Louisville again just because I need a redemption race there, because like I made so many mistakes. So many mistakes. The nutrition was on plan though. I mean, like a lot of Red Bull, a lot of Coke, a lot of caffeine, a lot of sugar, a lot just ready to go. And then the run, I did really well with the gels, but you just can't fake it. So anyway, next up is Augusta. I'm back on the horse. I'm training like a madman. I feel like I'm ready for it. It's coming here in a couple weeks. I think we got about 20 more days, 23 more days. Big training weekend last weekend, big training weekend this weekend. Probably do another like hard effort on next week. So I got 2 more weekends to get ready for Augusta 70.3. So you better believe I'm bringing the heat. We will be ready for Augusta. I tell you what, I've already increased my mileage. I ran 45 last week, probably going to hit 50 this week. So I'm going to put in a solid training effort for Augusta, because I got to defend the first place age group award, even though I'm in a different one this year. But anyway, that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my little rant and babbling on Louisville 70.3. Also, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, do all those cool things on YouTube that people do. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.